From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fairbanks Evening News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, trial has been set for the Barrow man accused of fatally shooting a district attorney.
That's right. Ronald Fisher appeared in Fairbanks Superior Court this afternoon and was assigned yet another lawyer. Since the shooting over a year again now, Fisher has been through at least 3 attorneys, and his case now rests in the hands of the Office of Public Advocacy out of Anchorage. Fisher is charged in the murder of Brian Sullivan. According to court documents, Fisher entered into a woman's home in Barrow and shot the DA at close range with a shotgun. His trial is now scheduled for May, and the judge today cautioned his new attorney about the legal hoops she may have to attend to after the others have dropped out of the case. That includes a previous filing in which a prior attorney called the murder a crime of passion and even went as far as to have an expert ready to testify. That motion, according to the judge, was quickly withdrawn. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks and will be held in the Barrow courtroom.
The Fairbanks North Star Borough Assembly met last night to get up to speed on a number of issues. Mike Fussell was there and files this report.
After a Finance Committee meeting, Interior Gas Utility representatives were the first to take the floor at last night's Fairbanks North Star Borough Committee of the Whole work session. The IGU members announced finalists for the Interior Energy Project had been narrowed down to just Spectrum LNG and Salix. Those companies represent liquefied natural gas solutions coming from both the North Slope and Cook Inlet. IGU representatives say it's doubtful both solutions will be chosen and that a final decision will be made by ADA in January. But they feel it's important to continue to showcase the benefits of the IEP throughout the process.
This is like a hedge. So if you are out there and you say, well, I'm just going to stay on oil, and and who can predict what the oil is going to be? Well, let's say oil doubles. You're going to see your cost of oil, your bill will double, straight up. No question about that. If you go with gas and you see the cost of gas double, jump up with oil and double, it's only a piece of the puzzle. You may see a 20% increase in your cost, not a 100% increase.
Borough planning officials also presented their work on a proposed advisory noise overlay to be added to the zoning code, addressing air traffic, arms fire, and other noises coming from Eielson Air Force Base and Fort Wainwright. The changes would only be informational, adding notes to property profiles rather than a matter of policies or restrictions affecting landowners. Officials say they hope to give builders and buyers a heads up about the noise.
They can put in, if they want to, more sound insulating windows, extra insulation in roofs, using different construction methods.
Planners note public hearings have yielded mixed reactions to the overlay.
A lot of people are concerned about the impact on their property values with the stigma of this overlay, that perhaps it would affect their ability to sell their property. Some people like the noise.
The zoning is expected to be fluid and change as the missions of the military do. Reporting from the Borough Chambers, I'm Mike Fussell.
The partners in the AK LNG project have voted to approve a work program and budget for the coming year. The vote came Thursday evening. Earlier in the day, the AGDC board authorized a vote to approve the work program for 2016 and to put up money appropriated by the state for the corporation's share of the costs. Now that is roughly $60 million. AGDC holds the state's interest in several components of the project, which is still in preliminary stage. The state is pursuing the project with BP, ExxonMobil Corporation, and ConocoPhillips. BP and ConocoPhillips have agreed to sign a gas availability agreement to continue negotiating terms under which their gas would be made available to the project if either of them pulls out. However, ExxonMobil is yet to sign off on such an agreement. During a press conference this morning, Alaska Governor Bill Walker said he didn't want Exxon's lack of commitment to derail or postpone last night's vote.
I realized this yesterday in the final decision making of this, is that if I did not say yes, let's go ahead and have that vote, I'd be allowing one company to derail this process because ExxonMobil did not sign up for this. So I was very comfortable proceeding forth with ConocoPhillips and BP. I think that I don't want to speak on behalf of Exxon. Exxon is still a partner of ours in this project. We'll continue to work with them in good faith.
All right, when we come back, True North Federal Credit Union will be closing its doors in early January. We have those details.
Also, Christmas and Ice will have several fun activities this weekend as part of its annual Winterfest celebration. Those stories and more when we return. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Fairbanks branch of True North Federal Credit Union will be closing its doors early next month. A company press release says minimal growth and a decline in transactions at the location are what prompted management to make the decision. A statement by CEO Lauren McVeigh says she believes online banking and shared branching will be able to serve members' needs without the downtown brick-and-mortar site. The closure will go into effect at the end of business on January 2nd. Branch contact information is available on the company's website.
Some local veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder may get the chance to work through their personal battles with the help of nature. The Northern Alaska Environmental Center is working on a project to bring those affected by combat to the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. Veterans on the trip will go on hikes and paddle through rivers of the vast wildlife area. Recruiting for the summer trip will begin early next year. The NAEC is raising money for the outing by selling artwork on their website. Program Director Jessica Gerard says scientific researchers have published studies showing how effective taking a hike can be in easing PTSD. Gerard says she's experienced this personally as a veteran affected by the disorder.
Walking away from the everyday life and the pressures of it from people, whether they mean to put it on you or not. When you're in the wilderness, you can be your own person, you can think through things, and you can have a quiet space to do that without the pressures of everyday life. So I think it's important that we maintain these spaces, especially large wilderness characteristic areas, and so that we have these places to go to and recover from all sorts of things.
Christmas and Ice will be hosting several fun activities this weekend as part of its annual Winterfest celebration. One of the spotlighted activities is Politicians with Power Tools. This event hosts 3 interior mayors as they duel for the best mini ice carvings. Bryce Ward, Carl Castle, and John Eberhardt will be competing this weekend. The ice sculptures created by each mayor will be on display for the next week. Folks from the interior are urged to vote with cash for their favorite carvings, and the mayor with the most funding will win. All money raised will go to the nonprofit of the mayor's choice.
So everyone's going to get about a 2-foot square or cubed piece of ice, and we'll get to do whatever their heart's desires. So everyone's been informed to bring a picture or an idea. None of us have any experience in carving ice, so Christmas and Ice is going to be pairing us up with some experienced folks and some of their tools. So hopefully we'll be able to make it through the day with unscathed.
With the Christmas season in full swing, it's time to start thinking about those that are not as fortunate. The Holiday Toy Drive has been a fundraiser for the past 10 years and is once again located at Walmart. Customers are encouraged to bring toys and drop them into the huge toy box located at the central portion of the store. The toys will be distributed throughout the community by way of the 21 agencies that are associated with the United Way.
Yeah, no, I mean, you live here in interior Alaska where it's, it does feel like Christmas year round. I mean, it's such a giving community, the Golden Heart community, and the toy drive, like everything else that we do, has just always been a smashing success here, mostly because of the generosity of the community.
The United Way has been a part of this for several years now, and it's such a wonderful feeling and moment in time when the toys come to our office. We make calls to our United Way member agencies. They come and pick them up, and the stories we hear about the kids who have received these toys are touching, they're heartwarming. They're kids that weren't expecting anything, and they wake up Christmas morning and they have a toy, thanks to the generosity of the people of Fairbanks.
Joe Cook is up next with sports and has highlights of UAF basketball's highly competitive GNAC men's opener.
Also, we'll have the play of the week and more after the break.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with your local Friday Sportscast. If every GNAC game is going to be like the one on Thursday night between UAF and Northwest Nazarene, then it's going to be a great year of men's college basketball. UAF welcomed the Crusaders to Alaska Airlines Court for the conference opener for both teams. NAU came in with a 3-0 record. They showed why. Detwan Rogers scored a game-high 25 points for NAU. Joe Slocum made a series of nice plays to give Alaska a 7-point lead. Nice no-look pass. But UAF, they led just 35-33 at the half. Both teams battled in a very tight game. There were 18 lead changes and 11 ties in this one. Javonte Williams, he scored a game-high 21 points and added a season-high 12 rebounds and 4 steals for UAF. The Nooks also attacked the paint with Almir Hadjisevich. His putback and one play gave Alaska a 71-66 lead with 1:43 left. He had 17 points and 9 boards. Alaska had 22 second chance points and 11 offensive boards. That will be enough for Alaska. They win 77-72 over NNU in their conference opener.
I think it was the communication. We stepped that up a lot moving into the second half, and that made all the difference getting out on the shooters and whatnot. And so that gave them a bigger obstacle and made it harder for them to get the shots up.
Now we have on the post more space for us to play down more. And I think like it's just we have good passers, so they find us open. We all we play unselfish basketball. That's the key.
We had a lot of guys contribute. We had a lot of new guys that were a little bit nervous, a little antsy, but they kept working on D, and that was the difference.
While the men's team, they were toughing out that win at home, the women's team weren't close on the road in their GNAC opener. Alaska loses 90-59 to the Western Washington Vikings. The Vikings shot 54% in this one, led by Caleb Burnson's game-high 19 points. Jordan Wilson led the Knicks with 16 points. Eranisha Smith and Jaylee Mays added 10 points each in the loss. UAF is now 5-4 in the year, and they will try to get their first conference win at Simon Fraser on Saturday. An Natick freshman has already put herself in the UAF swimming record books. Last night in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Calvin College Winter Invitational, freshman Cassidy Heaton of West Valley swam the 1,650 freestyle in 17 minutes, 21.8 seconds to set a new varsity record for UAF. She bested the record by 4 seconds. It was set in 2011. Ashley Crow set the mark for UAF then. Not only did Heaton set a new record, she placed second overall in the event and set a new personal best by almost 30 seconds. Alaska continues competition at the Invitational through the weekend. This afternoon, high school shooters were in the E.F. Horton Rifle Range for the MAC Championships. The local shooters got to feel the big time. They shot 3 air rifle relays in the Alaska Nanooks home range. The first relay was this morning at 9:30 a.m. This footage is from this afternoon's final relay. West Valley, Hutchinson, Tok, Delta, North Portland, Lathrop were represented. Melinda Mellifant led that relay with a 582. The final date of shooting starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning with small bore. And 2 Area 4A hockey teams went down to Anchorage for non-conference matchups on Thursday. One team had a tasty donut and the other had to eat a stale bagel. The West Valley Wolfpack dominated the East Anchorage Thunderbirds in a 10-0 win. Caleb Moretz had almost a half a dozen apples in this one with 5 assists. Gabe Rankin scored twice for the Pack. Lane Wood, he makes 13 saves for his first shutout of the year. The North Pole Patriots, they were blanked 6-0 in a loss to Diamond Lynx. McCoy Walker made 32 saves for the Patriots in that one. The Wolfpack will face Juneau on Saturday night, while the Patriots will play the Service Cougars. Now here's a look at what's going on this weekend for local sports. Tomorrow morning is the second cross-country town series ski race of the year at Birch Hill Recreation Area. That starts at 11 a.m. Then at 2 p.m. is the big one, the 21st Air Force versus Army hockey game. It's free and open to the public. The game starts at 2 o'clock at the Carlson Center. The Air Force leads the series 10-8. And they won the last 2 years. The Natick men's basketball team will take on the Central Washington Wildcats at the Patty Center at 2 o'clock as well. UF hockey, they will end their series against the Lake Superior State Lakers in Game 2 at the Carlson Center. Puck drop at 7 p.m. on Saturday night. Now we wrap up the Friday Sportscast with this week's POTW. This one is all about effort and pride. UAF freshman goalie Jesse Jenks makes 15 of his 29 saves in the second period of Game 1 against number 17 Michigan Tech last Friday night. Tech got the win though, 4-1, but Jenks, that was his only first loss of the year. Jenks sprawls on the ice to make some much needed saves for the Nanooks. Jenks' 29 saves is the play of the week. To pick the next POTW and get your votes in, watch for the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's it for sports tonight. Thanks for watching. Mike Schultz is next with the weekend weather forecast, and we'll catch you next time.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back into our Friday night edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again, talking about the weather. And today we had some light snow this morning, a little bit of accumulation, but it just kind of moved out throughout the day. We had some sunny skies and a nice sunset. We're looking at maybe some flurries throughout the weekend, and temperatures will not change a whole lot. More about that later on. I've been asking for some Christmas photographs. They're starting to come in now. This one's sent in by Charmaine Van Rensburg in North Pole Santa. As you can see, they're standing up very nice and erect. And again, this is on the North Pole area. Nice colors, and as always, photos at ktvf11.com. If you have a Christmas photo you want to send, or any kind of photograph, be sure and send it in. Speaking of photos, of course, we've been talking so much about the Fab Photo Calendar. Well, there's still a few left out there, and you can pick it up at Personal Plus, Ice Fog Vapor, the Fudge Pot, the River City Cafe, 907 Organic, Big Daddy's Barbecue, Graphic North, and the Prescription Center. They make nice stocking stuffers, and they are free. How about that? Your numbers today, today's high 6 above, the low last night 10 below, the record high 52 in 1934, but 1 year later it dropped down to 53 below. What a difference a year makes. Sunrise and sunset about 4 hours and 27 minutes, a loss of another 5 minutes from yesterday. Our satellite and radar is showing the flow has changed a little bit of direction now. We're not getting as much moisture into the interior, and therefore we're not getting as much snow as we had earlier today. The overall pattern is not showing any major storms to be affecting the area, except for down over southeast Alaska. Once again, they're looking at more rainfall. And speaking of southeast Alaska today, well, Ketchikan had some rain, 41 degrees, a few showers around Juneau, and 26 degrees. Look at that, a thunderstorm being reported in the Kodiak region, probably thunder snow, and cloudy skies at Anchorage. Mostly clear skies on the Cold Bay area, 27 degrees there. Only 1 degree at Nome today for their high. Partly cloudy skies, 16 below though at Barrow, and Fort Yukon 2 degrees below zero. Temperatures across the country, here it looks like this. Some showers over the Pacific Northwest with rain in the Seattle area. Nice up and down the west coast. A nice day in Phoenix, 73 degrees there. Denver at 59, lots of sunshine around Dallas, just partly cloudy skies. At Minneapolis and over the East Coast, looking at temperatures very comfortable there too, in the low 50s to upper 60s in the southern sections of the country. Now the overall satellite and radar showing one system moving out. The one we were talking about yesterday moving on the Pacific Northwest is working its way inland, bringing with it some high elevation snows and yet more snow and rain expected over the west coast. In fact, you can see the train of storms that will be moving in next week, bringing more rainfall. Some of it could be flooding, strong winds, and heavy mountain snows. So they're really getting the El Nino kicking in to influence their weather. The jet stream, as you can see, rapidly moving from west to east, and that usually brings lots of storms with it across the northern sections, while the southern half looks pretty good. Okay, time for our weather fact for tonight, and we're looking at 1989, Lakeland, Florida. Temperature plummeted to 31 degrees, an all-time record. You don't expect that in Florida, below freezing. How about that? Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank, and next week we'll be visiting with the kids from Pearl Creek Elementary School as part of our Kids Weather program. Here's your forecast for the remainder of the night. Actually, I say for tomorrow. Flurries, AM, and fog for Barrow, partly cloudy skies for Nome, and scattered snow showers for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at flurries at Fairbanks and a chance of snow in Haley with just cloudy skies for Delta Junction. Over southeast Alaska, it looks like rain and snow showers in Juneau, scattered showers for Ketchikan, while over to the southwest part of the state, looking at mixed showers for Cold Bay, rain and snow for Kodiak, and partly cloudy skies at Bethel. And if you're heading down to the Anchorage Bowl, not too bad. Partly cloudy skies in Anchorage, mostly sunny skies at Homer, and cloudy skies for Valdez. And it's a Friday night. Time to take a look at our Winter Trails Report, brought to you by the good folks at Beaver Sports. It's going to be a great weekend for all outdoor activities. Plenty of snow, and all of the ski resorts are now open. Cross-country skiing will be fast with icy trails, and snow machiners, beware of avalanche dangers. There's a lot of that going around, so be careful there. Here's forecast for tonight. 6 below, partly cloudy, a little bit cooler than last night. Tomorrow's forecast, 11 above, mostly cloudy skies, just a slight chance of a little bit of snow. And the 5-day outlook, as you can see here, no precipitation in the forecast, and temperatures very consistent all the way across the board. Daytime highs near 5 above, overnight lows around 10 below. And for this time of year, this is unbelievable weather, but we're going to take it. It's nice, especially for outdoor activities.
Yeah, I ain't got no complaints on that.
Nope.
Very good.
Yeah.
And a long weekend, what a week this was. So
seems like it.
Weekend.
It's darkness.
Darkness, that's what it
is.
Yeah. Okay, thanks guys. That'll wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We are glad you could join us.
Well, tonight on NBC Nightly News, the announcement came today that the San Bernardino shooting is now a terrorism investigation. That's up next with Lester Holt.
And don't forget to tune in tomorrow evening at 6 and 11 for the Interior's only weekend newscast with Katie Looper and Sports with Mike Fussell.
All right, from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a good weekend.
Good night.